Welcome to Beyond the Ballot AZ. I'm your host, Tom Collins, Executive Director of the Arizona Citizens Clean Elections Commission.
And I'm Gina Roberts, Voter Education Director for Clean Elections.
Some Arizonans may be traveling abroad this summer or getting ready to, but many may not know that in our state, there are little extensions of entire nations.
That's right, Tom. Our state is home to honorary consuls who represent countries from around the world, and they do a lot to help their citizens, but they are also a resource to Americans.
You know, I think you're going to find with our guests that there is way more to this than meets the eye, and there's an awful lot of community building and efforts to build our economy going on. Gina, you know, have you what's a place you've ever always wanted to travel internationally yourself?
Actually, I have been using chat to help me create an itinerary and travel to prepare for a trip to Japan. My children really want to go there. Yeah, they're big into anime, Godzilla. So, my husband loves sushi, and it just seems like it's the best place next for us to take a trip. So would love to go there, experience more of the culture. Who knows? Maybe I will reach out to the consul and see if there's any information I can get for help with that.
That's right. And you're going to learn more about that when you listen to this episode. We're here today with the Honorable Carolin Guy, Honorary Consul for the Federal Republic of Germany and the Vice Chair of the Diplomatic Corps of Arizona. Carolin, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you very much for having me today.
So, Carolin, could you start by telling our listeners about the Diplomatic Corps of Arizona? I understand it's been in our state since 1961. So, what is that about, and what countries are represented?
Correct. And currently we have approximately 44 countries represented as consuls that are accredited. And then we have emeritus members. Also, we represent the same amount of countries approximately. It varies a little bit because we get new consuls in. We just had a wonderful new consul from Spain for the Diplomatic Corps here in Arizona. Then of course some also leave because their time is up, and so it's always a little bit back and forth. But that's kind of the number, and we represent our countries here. Many of us do offer services for the community, for our own communities, but we also are very heavy in, making connections, representing our country here in Arizona. We are usually the first kind of diplomat in Arizona, and we do business development, all kinds of things.
Carolin, could you maybe give us some examples? How specifically does the Corps interact with American citizens and also its respective citizens? But, what are some of the things that an American citizen would reach out to the Corps for?
Yeah. With American citizens, it's usually if they have something to do in your country. So like, for example, for Germany, they might own land or an apartment or a house, or they would like to sell it or like to buy something. They would like to get married to a German. Those are the connections we usually have with Americans. And then they come to the consulate and we do signature verifications. We also have many Germans, but also other countries that are married to Germans, in my case, Germans, and then they have children and the children are German. So, there's a huge interaction with the American population. And on the other side, we also do outreach. We have a community center and restaurant where people can meet. So we present our country there. It's actually German speaking, so it's not only German. And we would like to offer the possibility for Americans and any actually citizen here in Arizona to experience Germany a little bit on a different level. And maybe that's a good way to get to know each other better.
It's interesting. The way in which the World Cup in particular has, I think, allowed more Americans to have more understanding of sort of not just the culture of soccer, but of different countries. For example, in the match against Curacao, the scoring one goal against Germany was a cause for national celebration in Curacao. So, which was I was fascinated to learn. So, is that generally the case that when there are international events and celebrations here in the U.S., that there's more interest in the kind of cross-cultural programming and outreach that you're talking about?
Well, I think maybe more people than know about it. However, the interest is huge overall. There are many, I can speak mostly for Germans, but I think it's also for other countries. It's the same. There are so many citizens here in the United States that have German roots somehow. The grandmother, or even, several generations, they came over here. Or they just came, they were stationed in Germany, they're married to a German. So there is really a big interaction and interest. And I feel that through those large events, that, of course, makes things a little bit more visible, that there are all those countries and that you want to learn more and understand where they come from. I love soccer because it's such a world sport. It's almost in every country you find soccer players, and it's universal. So it's a really, really good opportunity to show, the world, the United States, and actually vice versa.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. I have my own personal roots and family connection to Germany. And, I think that's fantastic for, the communities to experience and learn more about other cultures. But can you talk to us about maybe some of the economic impacts here too? Why is it so important for Arizona as a state to foster relationships with international countries? And what kind of impact does that have on local communities?
Well, I mean, first of all, Arizona is growing economy unlike really other in any other states here in the U.S. The relationship to Mexico has been, and Canada has been historically very, very strong, of course. And then, you were able to secure TSMC, this big plant. So the Asian connection is very strong. The European connection is also strong. We have a lot of suppliers for the semiconductor industry, but also in bioscience, smart manufacturing. They're all areas where European countries are usually very strong, and so we are trying to make Arizona aware of that, actually all Europe, and also see if Europe can benefit to move here, but also vice versa. So Arizona has actually a trade office in Frankfurt and for Germany and Europe. And, that's a connection we would like to highlight. The diplomatic corps actually represents diplomats from all over the world, from, Middle and South America, of course. The biggest consulate is the Consulate General from Mexico in Phoenix. By far, I mean, they do the most work. They have an incredible operation. But we also have consuls from Asia and from Europe.
So what are some of the memorable experiences you've had personally in this role?
Oh my gosh, I think I could write a book about it. We have... I really love that we get to see the entire society from A to Z, from the education, where they come from, what they do here in Arizona, why they came over. It's really amazing the differences, and you really get to know. You get to know the people. I really enjoy that. And I also very much enjoy that we can foster the community here, that we can grow the community. We have so many people that found friends in the German community, their best friends, through the Treffpunkt actually. And it makes me very happy that the community comes together. And it also makes me happy if we can foster business relationships here, really show who we are, provide opportunities to celebrate traditional festivities here, dishes. And we hope we can really try to do that also for the European community more and more. We work together with, so far, with the Finnish and the Swedish and the Luxembourg people and the, UK, Spain, France, Austria, Switzerland, etc., etc. It's Netherlands. It's wonderful, actually.
Well, thank you, Carolin, for joining us today on Beyond the Ballot AZ. And you can find out more information about the Diplomatic Corps of Arizona in our show notes.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Well, it was really lovely to speak with you. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Ballot AZ. I'm Gina Roberts.
And I'm Tom Collins. We'll see you next week.